Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Decoded, our show for OutSystems developers featuring OutSystems developers. My name is Eliza, and I'm the Community Engagement Manager for OutSystems in North America. I'm joined, of course, by my colleague and co-host, who I'll let introduce himself. Logan?
Hello, my name is Logan Brade, and I'm a developer advocate here at OutSystems. And let's go ahead and jump into the episode. Registrations are open for the next batch of OutSystems Developer Schools, a free instructor-led and remote training where you can learn OutSystems development, leveraging AI to build complex applications in a fraction of the time. There's only 25 seats available, so be sure to register now to secure your spot.
Last time you saw us, we were broadcasting live from One in Lisbon. We had a ton of fun, from 8 hours of streaming to meeting and partying with thousands of you for the first time. This year we'll be live again, but we'd love to see you in person and maybe even have you as a guest on the show. Join OutSystems at One on June 2nd and 3rd in Amsterdam to explore your agentic future. Learn how to build agents in revolutionary apps, connect with industry leaders and experts, and transform your skills. Are you ready to chat interoperability?
Yes, we have two experts joining us, OutSystems MVP and founder of ITUp, George, and OutSystems Principal DevOps Engineer, Bruno, to share their expertise on interoperability and our new ODC Data Fabric Connector. George, Bruno, welcome to Decoded. George, can you tell us maybe a little bit about your history with OutSystems and your role at ITUp?
Hi, Logan. Hi, Bruno. Hi, everyone. I came into OutSystems end of 2014. Actually working at OutSystems doing POCs and demos. You can imagine the interesting things that you can do in a week in OutSystems. I was doing that back then. And soon after, I actually switched within OutSystems. I switched to the training team. Went back to my roots. I was a university teacher. So I started teaching training at OutSystems directly. And soon after, we actually founded ITUp as the first training partner for OutSystems. And I've been involved ever since in training from both the content creation side of things, as well as delivery for both OutSystems directly and also through our efforts at ITUp. Currently, what I'm doing is I deal with APAC, so I'm based in Singapore. I'm also involved in new training content that we've been building, including, but not limited to, the interoperability large-scale training that ITUp has been partnering with OutSystems and delivering worldwide.
That's awesome. Now, Bruno, question for you. You're a principal DevOps engineer here at OutSystems. Can you tell us about that work?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So in this case, I'm an expert at professional services. So like George, I've been working with OutSystems for a long time. I joined OutSystems 8 years ago, and I joined directly at professional services. And the main goal here, or the main objective as an expert and as professional services, is to support our customers to overcome their challenges. So, and that can be achieved by providing training to them or collaborating side by side with them to create architectural solutions, blueprints, DevOps blueprints as well, solutions, providing enhancements in terms of accelerators that they can leverage to overcome some of those business challenges that they have. So one of the examples that can happen is there is a customer that is in O11, wants to work things in ODC and asks us for support. How can they leverage the new capabilities along with O11? So all of this is our main goals in the experts and in professional services.
That's awesome. So George, as the longtime OutSystems trainer, how have you seen OutSystems change and develop over the years? And what's really exciting to you about this present moment for the platform?
Well, that's an interesting question. So I was trained in OutSystems 9, but I actually started developing in OutSystems 8. So that was a long time ago.
Wow.
A lot of things moved since. So aggregates were probably the first thing. Then you had the mobile offer. Well, you had OutSystems UI, or the previous take on OutSystems UI, but mobile was probably the biggest thing, including offline, as in it's you don't want to imagine even what it was like to support mobile application in regular OutSystems with offline capabilities before the mobile of OutSystems 10 came out. Reactive, of course, the expansion of the platform APIs to do a lot more operations things, and of course ODC. So evolution of BPT into workflows, how Integration Builder evolved into the much more interesting data fabric, the possibilities that event-driven architectures allow in ODC, and now agentic AI. But I'd say that right now, actually what excites me the most is the unification of the two platforms that we start seeing with users and data, and I fully expect to see further fleshed out from the logic side and operations in the future. Hopefully not too far in the future.
Amazing. So let's try to get to the topic at hand here. In July, we announced that we will indefinitely support OutSystems 11. More importantly, we announced our new unification strategy designed to ensure all O11 customers can benefit from ODC's agentic and cloud-native capabilities at their own pace. The first step in this journey is the delivery of dedicated interoperability features that allow teams to seamlessly leverage data, logic, and users across both O11 and ODC portfolios. I know this is a long question. I'm getting to it. Give me one second. So during Decoded Live from 1, which our audience at home should check out once you finish this video, Pedro Girau from our product team talked a bit about the why, ensuring all our customers get access to the most exciting features without being forced to rebuild software. You each talk to OutSystems developers and customers quite regularly. Can you tell us what you've been hearing in response to this major change? Bruno, why don't you go first?
Sure. So the reactions have been great. So since the first day at 1, I've been hearing a lot of good things. So about OutSystems vision being aligned with them. And this shows that OutSystems is committed with the customers and with the community and listens to them. So I think a great advantage of this approach is that remove from the equation some concerns that it existed related to O11. So all of this was out of the equation now, and this will bring new opportunities to grow the business for the customers, but also new opportunities for all the community, the developers, to grow their knowledge. So in the past, the access to ODC and for them to work with ODC was limited. And now with personal editions, with more customers that will have ODC, it will expand this knowledge, and even greater use cases will come up. So not only the customers were very happy to stay in O11 and leverage the ODC capabilities, but have their core knowledge in O11 in everything that the business has these foundations. So they saw this as a great opportunity. So it was amazing to hear all the reactions and the feelings, and I think this will benefit everyone.
Absolutely. And George, as you're training a lot of our developers and customers on this new world for OutSystems, what have you been hearing?
Well, I'm training a lot of people. I'm also an MVP, so I have a different, I hear different things as well. But overall, from day one, as in from the day it was announced at 1, I see people that are hopeful, because it's a very big weight that is lifted from a lot of organizations' shoulders, that they're not going to be forced to migrate to ODC when their apps are working just fine in O11 currently. So this is probably the most important note here. It's also refreshing that everything that was announced at 1 was readily available, even if it was in EAP. And a lot of those EAPs have already concluded and turned into availability, general availability features that are relevant for interoperability. So that's another good point that people are happy about and they're excited about it. What I feel like is that everyone is a bit curious about, well, you've done all these things, announced them as a bombshell, as in one moment, all these things. How fast are we going to see the next things coming up? Okay. But what I can tell you is that, and I've delivered the first agentic AI bootcamp for OutSystems like a few months ago. And agentic AI seems to be the biggest drive for existing OutSystems 11 customers to want to try ODC. And now they can because they don't have to migrate things.
Yeah, so OutSystems, we spent most of 2023 and 2024 showing off all the amazing things developers can do with ODC. And the main feedback asked was, how do I migrate? One of the things I think about when it comes to traditional migrations is how it could limit innovation. Bruno, how does interoperability with O11 and ODC help solve that problem?
So with this approach, customers don't need to rush and doing this conversation. So we basically don't need to migrate. So this removes the pressure from them and for them to focus on their business. So keeps the momentum that they have to evolve their business with the new capabilities that ODC provides. And at the same time, they keep using O11 and the existing community and all their customers as well will keep using O11. So this is the best of both worlds. So focusing on growing and learn new things and take their time to do this migration as they see the need in terms of business. So there is no obligation to do this. So all the pressure is removed from the equation here, and I think this is the great benefit that the interoperability and the unification brings here to the table.
So speaking of evolution, what are you each excited to see as O11 and ODC continue on their unification journey? It's what we've been calling the future unified OutSystems platform. I'll let George go first.
Well, I'm looking forward to the day where O11 and ODC are barely visible, as in distinguishable, from the operations, developers, and end users' perspectives, where there's a single development tool that handles applications for both, where the ODC portal experience supports operations with a consistent experience across platforms. So that's my end goal. In the meantime, my first things first, what I really hope to see soon is that we'll be able to call service actions across the platform boundaries, because that closes the loop when it comes to the initial development experience unification. And we already kind of have the user experience unification because we already have unified users across both platforms. It's already possible.
And then, Bruno, what excites you about the future unified OutSystems platform?
So, as George said, there is a lot of new capabilities coming. So, the part of reusing logic is one of them that is coming in, and that we are excited to receive, to understand, to put in motion, to use it. But I'm also excited to see how customers and the community will evolve with this approach. So this will bring a lot of new use cases that, as an expert, we engage with customers in the community, and we need to analyze these use cases, and we need to adapt and understand these adoption patterns in order to grow along with it. So all of this is a lot of things put in motion, a lot of new capabilities that will come. Like you said, this is a journey, so things will come and things will come fast, as we see in ODC. So a lot of things is coming fast, these functionalities came, a lot of them in ODC at 1. And in the past 3 months, a lot of things are coming. And this will be a very fast track in this motion. So I'm very excited to see how this evolves.
Absolutely. The journey you're talking about, we've just taken a really major step. To kick off the new year, we announced the new ODC Data Fabric Connector for O11, a native solution designed to extend your trusted O11 data into ODC. Bruno, we have a pretty technical audience here, but can you briefly outline what we're referring to when we say data fabric and sort of what this connector will enable?
Sure. So data fabric, in this case, it's an ODC capability that exists in ODC portal and essentially simplifies the access and the integration with external systems. So in this case, includes several providers, and these providers are designed to specifically connect with these systems, which will simplify the configurations with those systems, the consumption of those systems data or functionalities. And in this case, the O11 connector is one of those providers. So it will streamline the configuration between ODC in O11 and will allow to reuse O11 data in the ODC application. So with this feature, the development teams will have a seamless way to consume the data that they need and use that data in the ODC applications as native entities, as native ODC entities to do aggregates, mashups. So it will be a better experience and a seamless way to consume these features.
Yeah, so a similar question to you, George, as you're working with a lot of the developers in the community. What are the benefits of Data Fabric Connector for developers?
Well, the major benefit is that you can easily access data from O11 as if they are entities that you created in ODC. So you can use your aggregates, you can even use SQL to interact with those entities to get data from them. You can even modify it. So it's read-write, so you'll be able to modify data back in O11. All of this with governance. So it's kind of a big deal here.
Yeah, so just to kind of follow up on this for the benefit. Whenever I think about migrations, right, I always think about like risk, inconsistencies, and like the challenges surrounding it. How does having data fabric help maybe like reduce risk, improve consistency, and kind of reduce the challenges associated that usually come with migrations that we don't have to worry about anymore?
When you are accessing data in O11, you don't have to copy it from O11 to ODC to use it in ODC, which means that you don't have two sources of information that need to be synced. So you're accessing directly the data in the external system, but still relying on external system that is the other OutSystems platform. But you still have the governance that the platform provides and all the safeguards in place.
That's awesome. So basically like single source of truth versus then having multiple sources of truth that you're trying to keep in sync.
Yeah.
That's
that would
awesome.
be my take, yes.
Yeah. So from Bruno, from a technical perspective, how does Data Fabric change API overhead?
So in this case, one of the biggest wins here lies in terms of maintenance and the management of the API. So in this case, it shifts here a little bit the effort from the producer to the consumer and allows them to select exactly what they need and aggregate the data by selecting what are the tables that they want to consume or the columns. So this will allow a reduced payload. And in this case, the platform will abstract the security implementation. So this is significant advantage. So for example, between cloud, the platform automatically also creates here security advantage with private gateways and between them to secure the connection, for example. So all of this brings a lot of advantages compared to traditional API usage. Okay, so I think here anyone that wants to consume data from O11 using Data Fabric and the O11 connector is the way to do it.
Absolutely. George, you and the MVPs have had access to ODC for quite a while, but developers across the community have had access to a personal environment since one last year, which has allowed everyone to experience new AI and agentic features, among other things. But not every customer has launched those features into their existing software quite yet. So they don't have to prep for migration necessarily anymore. But what are some best practices you'd recommend for readying O11 applications for ODC features?
That's a good question, Eliza. So like you said before, there's like three big pillars for interoperability, which is users, data, and logic, right? So I would say the first one that it's least impactful would be to make sure that you can use your O11 users in ODC. So make sure that you're using the same users on both sides, because this is the barrier for end users to work with your applications. If there's one single sign-on that works for both platforms, then it's easier for users to interact with their applications. So that one is configure your ODC to make use of O11 as the source of your users. Or if you're using an external IDP, then you can use that one. The second pillar with data, I would say that it's important to understand, before you even start doing things in ODC, understand what kind of data is actually useful to have in ODC from O11, and potentially configure your infrastructure support for Data Fabric and decide these are the entities that need to be exposed, that we are comfortable exposing so that they can be consumed from the other side. In some cases, this might require some refactoring if we don't want everything to be exposed, if only some of the attributes of our entities should be visible. But this process also kind of brings in some clarity as to what should be exposed as an entity, which is full access from Data Fabric. And it's very useful for things like agentic AI, because you have access to tons of data that you've been accumulating. But also in some cases, you might identify scenarios where you actually don't want to share that data directly because you have business rules in place that you want to enforce at the source. Which brings us to exposing logic, where, from my perspective, you would want to start by identifying functionality that needs to be available across platform boundaries, build a solid foundation of REST APIs, and build into that REST API foundation the right governance, the right safeguards. These are things that you can actually prepare before you even start doing ODC. But of course, as you start your journey with ODC, you will have to revisit this constantly and update what you have.
That's awesome. George, Bruno, this was a great conversation. OutSystems developers, you've heard about the best practices and all the exciting releases. So now it's your turn to go out and try out ODC and our new Data Fabric Connector. We'll be sure to leave a link in the description below. George, Bruno, thanks again. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Thank you, Logan.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Eliza.
Well, that's it for our first Decoded episode of 2026. Don't forget to save the date for One Amsterdam in June, and check out developer schools going on across the world next month. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.